Good morning, friends, and welcome back to Trans India. Real people, real emotions. We are back again at the Daimler India Commercial Vehicles Manufacturing Facility in Oragadam. This time, Daimler India has invited a delegation of media personnel from across India to make some announcements regarding their future as well as their past performance. Daimler India Commercial Vehicles, DICV as we know it, the wholly owned subsidiary of Daimler Truck AG, announced that calendar year 2023 was a remarkable year for them as they achieved record sales and revenue performance. The company's calendar year 2023 domestic truck and bus sales grew by 39% and revenue grew by 21% over 2022. DICV's bus volumes doubled in calendar year 2023, growing 107% over 2022. Its cumulative sales, including domestic and exports, from January to December 2023 grew by 13% and its parts business grew by more than 21% over calendar year 2022. It may be recalled that in January 2023 itself, DICV had transitioned its entire Bharat Benz truck and bus portfolio to comply with OBD2 regulations with a sharper focus on reducing total cost of ownership, increasing the productivity of its trucks, and offering industry-leading service intervals in India. Well, it was a packed day at the DICV facility, with officials making presentations on the past, present, and future. And then, of course, was the exciting bit, driving trucks on the test track. It may be mentioned here that DICV actually built the test track even before the manufacturing facility was set up. The day started with Mr. Satyakam Arya, Managing Director and CEO, Daimler India Commercial Vehicles, addressing the media. And here are excerpts of what he said.
Well, we came to the market in 2012, right? So that was the start of our journey in India, and the first decade was establishing ourselves as a credible player in the CV market in India. And 2023 was the first year of our next decade in India, a decade where we want to be the top CV player in India. We were the first to introduce the TCO concept in selling the trucks in Indian market. Second, we were also the first ones to come with air-conditioned trucks way back in 2013. And today we are talking about 100% air-conditioned trucks in the Indian CV industry. Fourth, we have offered unmatched and unseen levels of reliability in all the products we have delivered to this market. And lastly, this is more a business aspect. We hear a lot about Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliant India, make in India for the world. We've actually done it in the last 11 years. Today, all the products we have in the market have localization levels of more than 90%. In fact, some touching close to 95%. So the motto for us is leading sustainable transportation and target net zero emissions by 2000. When it comes to goals, we are wanting to or aspiring to increase sales of zero emission vehicles by up to 60% by the end of this decade. And by 2039, we are aspiring to offer our complete portfolio with zero emission trucks and buses. It's a Gen H2 truck, as we call it. And for the first time ever, we demonstrated that this truck with one fill of liquid hydrogen of 30 kg could actually do 1047 kilometers on public roads in Germany. We also launched our e-Actros 600. This is a fully electric, battery electric vehicle, and this can deliver up to 500 kilometers in a single charge. And the third one is quite well known because this is the third generation of e-Kenta, the light duty truck which we manufacture in Japan. We are basically investing in two technology tracks, electric and hydrogen. We are also making rapid advancement when it comes to safety. We have come up with a vision zero, which means zero accidents on the roads. How are we doing that? We are talking about advanced safety features which do not meet only the legal regulations but also go beyond that. We have recently demonstrated two use cases here. Active drive assist, which can conduct steering, lane keeping, and acceleration on its own. And we are talking about the 6th generation of active brake assist, which can perform an automated full stop braking. The best ever year in our history in terms of annual sales. We ended up selling 23,400 trucks and close to 2,000 buses in the Indian market, which is about 39% growth over 2022. If I look at the trucks and buses separately, and you know the market figures well, last year the market was about 350,000 trucks, and this was 10% better than 2022, while our sales increased by 35% as compared to 2022. We launched a Rakshana program, and Sreeram will talk more in detail about that. This is giving uptime guarantee to our customers. We also inaugurated a parts warehouse in the north of the market. As we are growing as a company, and we have a network of more than 350 now, which we achieved in 2023, we are also now moving our warehousing and logistics functions across the country. And last year was the first step which we took to move out of Chennai and establish our base in the north. We continued our work on sustainability. We installed a concentrated solar thermal system that saves over 60 metric ton of usage of propane per year. We also installed a very interesting thing. It's called air to water generator, which actually converts the humidity in the atmosphere to water, which is also portable, and it can deliver up to 1,000 liters per day. I talked about network expansion. Since 2018, we are continuing to relentlessly increase our network. We had a network of 182 in 2018, and last year we crossed 350 customer touch points in the market. And that means our customers will have less half an hour when they travel to our workshop. We also continue to work on diversity, and we last year launched a program called She Rise, which is about grooming women for the leadership role which they can take in future. It's a one-year graduation program and was very, very successful in its first edition. Well, you know that we had started our journey on sustainability way back in 2016 when we launched the solar power station in our test track. 2023 was a year when we had 84% of our production with carbon neutral or renewable energy. We touched a level of 84% and will continue to grow on that. When it comes to water conservation, 88% or close to 90% water neutral, which means only 10 to 12% of our requirement we bought from the government. The rest was reused here. I talked about diversity. We have a long way to go, but I'm happy that last year we could actually take our diversity ratio 2% above in the past. We still continue to see government pushing infrastructure investments quite a lot. About 11 trillion rupees were announced in the financial 25 budget, and India definitely is coming on the world stage when it comes to digital revolution. We as an economy, as a country, have shown that we are very quick and amenable to adopt digitalization. Well, we are expecting that the market will mostly remain flat when it comes to trucks. We are expecting it will finish with about 350,000 units, with the first half being a bit soft, but a second half quite strong. So all in all, in the best case, the market will remain flat. In a more pessimistic scenario, it could be lower than last year by about maximum 5%. So that's our projection on the truck market, MHCV segment in 2024. For the bus, we are expecting a growth of about 25 to 30% over 2022. So that's the volume thing, but we also see a lot of trends which are going to impact the truck and the bus market in India. One is definitely regulations. Well, we've done our bit on the emission side in the last 3 to 5 years, but we still have a lot of catch up to do when it comes to safety. And we thankfully see that those regulations are lined up in 26 or 27. So we will definitely see regulatory framework evolving around safety in the next years. With all the investments happening in infrastructure, we believe there will be more and more shift towards higher horsepower and higher GVW trucks. And you will see that segment by segment, you will see markets switching to alternate fuels as we go on. E-mobility products and ecosystem. Well, when you sell an electric vehicle, you don't only sell the vehicle, you also create an ecosystem for the customer, and those trends will pick up more pace as we go on. Servitization and new business models. So in future, mobility is not only a physical vehicle which you deliver, but you deliver a plethora of services or an ecosystem along with it, and those trends will pick up more pace in 2024. And the last one is the scrappage policy. We all know that this policy was announced. We are starting to see some progress when it comes to establishing infrastructure, but we believe much more pace is needed before we start to see the effects of scrappage policy. So what are our strategic priorities and focus areas for 2024? And I put them in 3 broad segments. First one, we are talking about product leadership. Second, we are talking about how can we make our customers more successful, because that's the philosophy we have always followed since beginning. And third, how do we make our company future ready? So when it comes to products, we are actually launching an all new range of long haul rigids, construction and mining range in 2024. When it comes to making customers successful, we will continue to expand our network. From 350 touch points, we are talking about crossing 375 touch points in 2024. Our uptime guarantee to the customers will go one step further. From Rakshana, we are talking about Rakshana Plus. And we will also give you a glimpse of the next generation of connectivity solution which we are bringing to the market in 2024. When it comes to being future ready, we are talking about growth, and we are talking about us maturing as a business. So we as a company have decided to embrace TQM way of working. We've recently started our TQM journey, and this will accompany us for the next 5 to 6 years as we go on. And we believe this will play a very important part in making us a strong and sustainable business. I talked about scope 2 CO2 neutrality of 84% in 2023. This year we want to add 6% and go to 90% in 2024. And we will continue to work on diversity. We are at 11% today, and we want to take it to 14% by the end of this year. Medium and heavy commercial vehicle market will be close to 500,000 trucks in 2030. Of course, this assumes that we will have a stable government coming in by the end of this election, and the momentum on the economy will continue. This figure does not take into account any major impact from the scrappage policy. If that comes, that actually comes on top, or this number can happen earlier than 2030. For the bus, we are talking about 70,000 units every year by 2030. So all in all, put this together, we are talking about a CAGR of 5 to 6% for the commercial vehicle market in India. At the center of our strategy always is how do we continue to make our customers more successful. Another aspect which we are focusing on is driving performance, which means growing strong and growing sustainably. Getting our business or making our business more and more resilient across the cycles which we see in the CV industry. That's about driving performance. You saw some initiatives from us on sustainability, and they will continue. We aspire to be carbon neutral in our entire operations by 2025, and in our entire value chain by 2047. And that's about making sustainability count. Accelerating transportation solutions is basically meaning servitization. Mobility will no longer just be a physical product, but also an ecosystem of services which will be offered, and we will prepare ourselves for that in the next years. And the last one, growing together, it's all about people. We talked about AI earlier, and we talked about how much is there a need to reskill and upskill our workforce. And that's what growing together means.
Addressing the media next was Mr. Sreeram Venkateswaran, President and Chief Business Officer, Domestic Sales and Customer Service. Coming up after this very short break, excerpts from Sreeram's presentation and more. You are watching Trans India, real people, real emotions.
क्या आप जानते हैं एक ट्रक ओनर के लिए सबसे मुश्किल काम क्या होता है? अपने ट्रक के लिए रिटर्न लोड खोजना।
पर अब ट्रैकिट ट्रांसपोर्ट मार्केट ने इसे आसान कर दिया है।
वो कैसे?
ट्रांसपोर्ट मार्केट टाइम पर ट्रैकिट ऐप में आए हुए लोड पर अपना बेस्ट रेट भेजें, माल की डिलीवरी की डेट और टाइम सिलेक्ट करें और सबमिट कर दें, और ऑर्डर कंफर्म होने पर व्हीकल असाइन करें। है ना आसान? तो देर किस बात की? प्ले स्टोर ऐप पर टाइप करें TRAKET ट्रैकिट और डाउनलोड करें ट्रैकिट ऐप।
स्कूल बच्चों का दूसरा घर होता है, और इस घर का ख्याल रखना एक प्रिंसिपल के लिए आसान नहीं। पढ़ाई के साथ बच्चों का आराम, उनकी सेफ्टी, छोटी से छोटी चीज़ मेरी प्रायोरिटी है। वैसे ही स्कूल बस चुनना भी एक बहुत बड़ा डिसीजन था। पेरेंट्स का पीस ऑफ माइंड, मैनेजमेंट का भरोसा और बजट साथ लिए चलना पड़ता है। इसीलिए कभी कभी फर्म भी बनना पड़ता है। आखिर कोई अपने बच्चों की जिम्मेदारी मुझे दे रहा है, तो कोई बजट की। लेकिन इतने सालों में एक चीज समझ आई है, अगर सही डिसीजन लें तो सबसे ज्यादा प्यार भी प्रिंसिपल को ही मिलता है।
चुनिए महिंद्रा क्रूजियर स्कूल बसेस। यह है मजबूत ट्यूबुलर स्ट्रक्चर, एंटी लॉक ब्रेकिंग, एंटी रोल बार, पैराबोलिक सस्पेंशन, IMAX, वाइडर सीट्स और बेस्ट इन क्लास माइलेज के साथ बच्चों के लिए सेफ और बाकी सब के लिए सबसे स्मार्ट चॉइस, महिंद्रा क्रूजियर स्कूल बस।
Welcome back to Trans India, real people, real emotions. We are at the Daimler India manufacturing facility in Oragadam. Addressing the media, this is what Mr. Sreeram Venkateswaran had to say. Here are the excerpts.
2023, as Satyakam mentioned, we enabled the uptime guarantee program called Rakshana. We introduced the 320 horsepower trucks, and the entire model year 23 was launched with OBD2, which is a regulation. And I'm happy to say that over the last 12 years, our learnings have been so strong, the processes have been so strong, that the MY23 went into the market without even a single blemish. That was what we achieved in the last 11-12 years' time. And as we enter the teens, this puts us in a very, very strong platform as we build our business from here, as we build the success of our customers from here. Satyakam also mentioned the safety point quite a bit. We do give stress. We are the only players in the market who have given European crash certified cabins. It's not a requirement, it's not mandatory. We are beyond the norms here. Second, reliability. More than 2,000 trucks currently are running on roads without any touch on the major aggregates by over 2,000 they have run more than 1 million kilometers. No engine changes, no repairs to the engine, no repairs to the axle, no repairs to the gearboxes. That reliability actually has been seen by our customers, and we are now enabling this reliability through our after-sales support programs. Durability, we have built robust and durable vehicles. They have withstood use and abuse across all kinds of geographical conditions, all kinds of terrain, and our customers have come back and said, yes, your trucks don't fail on road, our drivers are not left in lurch, middle of the jungle or middle of a mine. I think that is something that we have earned for ourselves. Technology leadership will always remain the forte as far as the brand Bharat Benz is concerned. Comfort and safety will always again be at the forefront of our design. What we intend to give is, through technology interventions, a completely fatigue-free driving and a huge productivity improvement from our vehicles. If you look about 10 years back, a product which was, say, example, a tipper, growth is one part of it. Where we are growing is the real big story. We saw industry growing by 10% in the medium and heavy duty segment. We grew by about 35% in the same period. But if you look at the right-hand side of the chart, you will see the real story behind this growth. The rigid trucks have seen a flat TIV last year despite a strong industry performance. Economy is growing. But if you look at it, the overall billion-ton kilometers transported on road has gone up exponentially. It has been up by about 19%. But rigid, we see a decline. Construction saw a growth of 11%, slightly above the industry growth. And the tractors saw very, very strong growth. That indicates where this future of transportation is moving. It grew by 50%. And when we define our own future plans, we also define from what are our strong pockets and strong points. Satyakam did mention about a whole new range of rigid trucks. Pradeep will develop on it in more detail. But two of our strongest portfolios currently are tippers and tractors. Against industry growth of 11%, we grow by 54%. On the tractors, against the industry growth of about 50-52%, we grew close to about 80%. Highways, north, south, east, west corridor, be it the GQ, golden quadrilateral. Currently, our customers can reach any of our setup within 250 kilometers. We have some white spots which are work in progress, but we are very, very well covered in these sectors. We are almost 100% covering north-south corridors with less than 2.5 hours of reach. We are covering the GQ with 93% of the time of the vehicles that we encounter. We are covering in less than 2.5 hours of reach. And on the east-west corridor, which is an area where we are putting our effort to improve, especially the Uttar Pradesh market, we are about 90% reaching in less than 2.5 hours. Having said this, we also have what we have enabled spot serve. Beyond of the 351 locations that we have a full-fledged 3S facility or a 2S facility, we have 84 spot serve locations, especially in construction and mining areas. This empowers our customers to actually utilize the trucks better. We took a target when we started this program and we piloted sometime in the Q1 of last year that we must aim to deliver more than 90% of the vehicle within 48 hours for all regular service and minor repairs. We did see success, and by the time we were able, we wanted to get into market launch, we said, I think we can track our targets better. We can track those targets less than 24 hours time also. Currently, as we stand, we deliver within 24 hours, 93% of the job cards that get opened for regular and minor repairs in all our workshops. That's a phenomenal figure. And this figure is important because of two reasons. We do not have customer leakages to outside mechanics. Our retention of customers within warranty period is close to 90%. And when the customers cross warranty, we continue to retain about 78 to 80% of them within our facilities. So it's imperative on us to really upgrade our service facilities to an extent where we are able to support this load. Supporting load would mean more number of locations where we are focused upon. Supporting load would mean enabling spot serve, which we are working upon, and enabling it. Enabling it also means 24/7 working of our workshops. Today, we have got about 11 or 12 locations which work 24 hours. This is a program that we started towards the Q3 of last year. And as we finish 2024, we will have close to 1/3 of our entire network enabled for 24/7 service to all our customers. This is something that will empower and keep the wheels rolling of our trucks. Third is, as we move into 2024, by Q2, end of Q2, we will upgrade our Rakshana program to cover customers beyond of warranty also. Because we have a very high retention rate of our customers beyond warranty, it is important for us to really retain them because they are not only source of a good revenue on after sales and servitization as Satyakam spoke about, they're also a great source for future sales. This is something that we are trying to enable by end of Q2. Truck Connect is a service that we are piloting in the market right now. It is going to be path breaking. It is going to be helping customers to get huge amount of information from the trucks. Now this also becomes the backbone of what we are trying to set up as an uptime center, where we will be able to do not only maintenance, but also be able to do a predictive maintenance of those trucks. We are setting up a command center to enable our uptime center. We can get humongous amounts of data from our trucks. There are about 75 signals we can get from the trucks, which can be used to not only enhance performance of the trucks, but also to tell the fleet manager of our customers of what are the levers he has got to pull to ensure that his fleet efficiency goes up significantly. Because as we will move forward, the costs of the truck are not going to come down. We will have to enable ways and methods to ensure that our customer is able to milk those trucks and milk those assets far higher. We have one of the state-of-the-art training facility in Chennai, which has got facilities for after sales and or customer support training. We do train our mechanics into 3 levels of training: basic, advanced, and expert. Now, since, as I mentioned, trucks have become electronics, we also have to ensure that all the mechanics who touch the trucks are trained on diagnostics and electronics. So that work happens in Chennai, but Chennai's capacity was becoming constrained, and also people traveling in from other locations became a constraint. So we opened up last year 3 more regional training centers: Bhubaneswar, Pune, and Gurgaon. Large hubs. Now, talking about drivers, we have done more than 200 driver trainings. Drivers have been trained here in our driver simulator. What we see as a result is the worst of the worst and the best of the best, the difference can be as high as 25% efficiency drop or efficiency enhancement. The simulator helps our drivers to actually calibrate the performance to a very small central core where most of the drivers can use the trucks in a more efficient way. We do drive 2 levels of training for our service team, which is tech expert, and our sales team, sales expert. We create a lot of gamification in our training so that there is a high amount of interest in upgrading the skills of our personnel in the dealerships, which are about 6,000 in total right now.
Next up was Mr. Pradeep Thimmaiyan, Chief Technology Officer at Daimler India Commercial Vehicles. And this is what he had to say.
The first set of products are from the rigid portfolio, the HT rigid portfolio. We are going to launch a set of new rigid trucks with an all-new driveline technology. So we are going to have Bharat Benz 6D26 engine coupled with a lot of additional changes, which makes our rigid portfolio even more exciting for our customers, because this will offer the best total cost of ownership in the country, right? So what we have packed inside in this set of trucks, right? So we have 2 power offerings, 186 and 228 kilowatt, offering a much wider application possibilities. The chassis was completely redesigned to make it bodybuilder friendly, right? So, you know, India is quite big. The bodybuilders are spread around and they have their own needs. If that's fulfilled, it makes their life easier. A truck takes at least 2 months from the day it is going out of this plant to start generating revenue, right? So you can imagine that 2 months of EMI our customer has to pay and it's not generating any revenue. And how we can reduce that, right? So we can reduce that by making the life of bodybuilder easier. So that's what we have tried to do here in terms of understanding the bodybuilder's needs and then redesign the chassis so that it's easier for a bodybuilder. He can reduce the time it takes to build the body, by which then the truck can start generating revenue faster. So we have also customized the vehicle for special applications. We have made the vehicles more suitable for certain applications. Some of the examples are here: tankers and bulkers, and then we have also customized for easy operation in high altitude, basically in the Himalayas. So overall, the truck will offer a much superior fluid efficiency, right? So lesser diesel consumption, lesser AdBlue consumption, and then also we will offer longer service interval. So the trucks needs to be serviced only at 1,20,000 kilometers, right? So With better roads, the annual mileage of the trucks in India has increased. Now there are trucks which are covering even up to 3 lakh kilometers in a year. And majority of the trucks are crossing 1 lakh kilometers in a year. That means in a year, you will not need any service for the truck, right? So that's the benefit. There are also additional features that's given in order to improve the TCO of the truck. Some of the features are mentioned here. It has a multi-drive mode. There is a range inhibitor, which actually also helps driver in terms of choosing what will help him to make the maximum out of the truck, and then also ease his driving. Right, so these are some of the features. Our miners and our tractors, basically our mining tippers, and then the long haul tractors with best in class automated manual transmission. Right, so we are going to bring a 12-speed automated manual transmission, which is one of the most successful automated manual transmission in the world. So what will this transmission coupled with the vehicle with a lot of other changes offer to our customers? First, it will offer a much better fleet fuel efficiency, right? So one of the main benefit of an automated manual transmission is it will reduce the variation in fuel efficiency between driver to driver. So if the variation was wider, when you have the fleet with automated manual transmission, the variation will come down. And with coupled technology, also the fuel efficiency will improve. So overall, the fleet average fuel efficiency or fuel consumption per truck will reduce. Right. So the next one is an all-new range of construction portfolio. So construction is Bharat Benz strength, and then we are going to make them even stronger. We are going to make those vehicles get more profitability to our customers so that they can become even more successful with our construction portfolio. Right, so we have gone back to the drawing board and then thoroughly re-engineered everything from bumper to bumper so that we can make the trucks much more productive, much more durable, and much more efficient for our customers. And we are going to offer power upgrade. We are going to offer bigger and stronger rear axle. We are going to offer a much stronger transmission. Overall, this is going to increase the uptime and increase the productivity for our customers. So on top of that, we are also adding value-added features. Multi-drive mode comes as a standard option. And we are going to introduce unitized bearing that will again reduce the need for maintenance. And also all the vehicles will come with hill hold assist. Right, so that's the three ranges of products that we are going to launch this year.
After the press briefing, we were taken to the test track to experience the trucks as well as the test track. While the journalists who had valid driving licenses were allowed to drive the trucks, the others could just enjoy the ride. In the meantime, a few select journalists were asked to stay back for a roundtable interaction with Mr. Satyakam Arya. Well, it turned out to be a lengthy discussion with a lot of journalists seeking some comment on DICV's electric truck plans. But this is what we asked, and here's the response of Mr. Satyakam Arya.
Sir, with the cost of trucks going up and also everything that goes into a truck is also getting dearer, so there's a lot of focus on TCO now. So what edge does Bharat Benz have when it comes to TCO?
Well, if you look at different segments, the TCO we offer to the customers is always far ahead of competition, even today. Right? How do we do that? We offer much better fuel efficiency, and this varies from segment to segment. Right? So I can't give you one number. The repair and maintenance cost is much lower with Bharat Benz than with other brands. You have seen that we offer a 6-year and 6 lakh kilometer warranty. Right? And this is with no strings attached. Right? So we offer it on the entire product. With OBD2, we have actually increased the service interval of our trucks. From 80,000, we went to 120,000 kilometers. And Pradeep was earlier explaining to you, this is like coming to the workshop once a year. Right? So if you put this all together, that's what TCO is about. Right? We offer definitely much better value to our customers. Right? And with the new range you saw today, and you will see more on the test track later on, we are definitely going 1 or 2 notches up. Right? Specifically with AMT, this will be a game changer in the Indian market. As we said earlier, we have delivered already 500,000 of this AMT in different parts of the world. It's the best AMT in the CV space. With the kind of shifting time it takes and the jerk-free shifting it provides, you will definitely see that the fleet level fuel efficiency will go to the next level. Right? So far, the focus was on training drivers, and we know there is a lot of attrition in the driving space. Right? With this, the skill of the driver, even if it is quite limited, you can still deliver much better fuel efficiency. So the fleet level efficiencies will definitely go for the next paradigm with that.
So one more thing that we have seen is there's a constant shift now where the small truck operators are on their way out and the fleets are going to the larger operators. Do you see this gap growing, and does it make things easier for Bharat Benz, so we have to deal with the larger organized players rather than the 1, 2, 3 fringe owners?
Well, we have also seen this trend coming, and honestly, it's not surprising that it's coming. As the demand for higher efficiency levels becomes so important to be sustainable in the business, more and more professional fleets will gain. Right? The smaller fleet owners, unfortunately, will not have the skill and the scale to compete. Right? This was anyway supposed to happen when the industry grows and the demand for professionalization goes up. So, not surprised with that. It is going to help us because, as you can imagine, most of our volume comes from big fleet or medium fleet owners. So, we definitely stand to gain.
But do you see a solution to driver shortage, which is also growing at the same time?
So before we get into driver shortage, just that previous topic, what is the organized and unorganized mix at this point in time, and how do you see it moving as a small fleet operator to large fleet operator? I mean, just the mix, how are you seeing it evolving?
Well, it's hard to say. I don't think there is any credible data there, but based on the studies we have done, I think 60 to 70% of the volume comes
65-35 is what the benchmark
is the unorganized segment or the small fleet operators. So far, the dip has been only about 2 to 3%.
Okay.
It's not big.
Okay.
But I believe it will only accelerate as we go on.
Right. So, now question on driver shortage.
I have a question.
Let me do the driver shortage and then I come to it. Well, is there any solution to driver shortage? The only solution is offer them safe, productive, and aspirational career choice. Right? See, we sit in our offices and we are quite safe there in terms of working conditions. The office space of a driver is sitting behind the steering wheel. Right? Is that safe? Is that comfortable? Is that productive? I think we need to seriously rethink on these topics. We've never given full attention to it. That's why, whenever I make it a point to talk about the crash safety norms, right? And it's not picked up widely by the media, right? Because it's maybe not glamorous to talk about. But honestly, for a driver, it's a question of life and death, right? And why do we always talk about factory-built cabins? Because you know very well in cars also that those cabins or bodies are designed for crash, right? That the body of the driver will not be impacted much if there is a frontal collision, right? So I think we have to give a serious rethink on are we giving that kind of working environment to the driver, right? As long as this doesn't change, we will always deal with driver shortage.
Will it then lead to the scope for driverless vehicles, autonomous vehicles? Will that be the way forward?
Eventually it will be. But it's hard to say for India when. Honestly, I can't answer that question. If you drive on the Indian roads, you see, you can't imagine that, right? So I can't answer that question for you when. But eventually it will be. At one point in time it will be. If you are talking about that in US or Europe or Japan. Eventually, it will also come to India.
While it was a hectic day, it had a lot of learnings and insights into what DICV has lined up for the future. While there is a focus on alternate fuels as well as various segments for the commercial vehicles, DICV has clearly stated that it would be evaluating each of these and would not be a volume game player. We have said this before and we repeat again. The road transport industry as well as the commercial vehicle industry has a bright future ahead. Though there may be some temporary hurdles, the segments look well on course for a splendid future. We will continue to track all these developments and how OEMs and transporters adjust to the changing scenario. We will be back again next week with yet another interesting episode. Until next week, stay safe and drive safe. Jai Hind.